What if I told you that doing just one thing every week can actually slow your biological aging? Backed by brand new 2025 science, this isn't a fad. It's a powerful act anyone can do. Stay tuned. You won't believe how simple it is. New research shows just one weekly activity could help you live a longer, healthier life: volunteering. The study, said to be published in the January issue of Social Science and Medicine, found that volunteering, even for just 1 hour a week, is linked to slower biological aging, which reflects how old your cells and tissues appear compared to your actual age. The researchers controlled for other health variables that can slow biological aging, including frequency of physical activity, smoking status, binge drinking, obesity, and more, and still found a connection between volunteering and slower biological aging. Before we continue, click subscribe, like, and share. Help us spread the light of health to others who are walking through the beauty of their golden years. This channel is your compass to golden age health, guiding you so that every step remains light and joyful until the very end. Ever met someone in their 70s who still looks young and full of life? Their secret isn't diet or supplements, it's purpose. This is the story of Arthur from London and Helen from Oregon, two seniors who proved that giving time and care can slow aging more than any pill or program ever could. In the outskirts of East London, there's a small community kitchen called Warm Table Kitchen. This is where the inspiring story of Arthur Williams, a 78-year-old man, begins. Every Saturday at 8 a.m., Arthur arrives on his rusty, old bicycle. With a gentle smile and trembling hands, he prepares warm breakfasts for the elderly and the homeless in his neighborhood. He has never missed a day, rain, snow, or blazing sun. Arthur always shows up. For 2 hours, he washes vegetables, slices bread, and serves hot tea with a soothing greeting. "Good morning, love. You're not alone today." What makes his story astonishing is not just his dedication, but the medical results that stun the scientific community. A team from University College London, UCL, conducted a biological assessment of Arthur, along with 1,500 other seniors. And the results? Arthur's biological age turned out to be 8 years younger than his actual age. His heart beats steadily like a man in his 60s, his cortisol levels are low, and his immune cells regenerate faster than average. When asked what his secret was, Arthur simply said, "Maybe it's not about what I eat or drink. It's about who I share my time with." Research from 2025 supports his answer. According to a study released by the Harvard School of Public Health, just 1 hour of volunteering per week can slow down biological aging by up to 30%. Social activity, especially when done with empathy and purpose, releases oxytocin and endorphins, hormones that have been proven to strengthen the immune system and reduce cellular inflammation. But Arthur isn't the only living proof. Thousands of miles away, in the small town of Eugene, Oregon, USA, lives Helen Carter, a 72-year-old woman. Since retiring from her job as a librarian, Helen has spent every Wednesday afternoon for 90 minutes mentoring elementary school children in reading. She teaches them to spell, write, and listen patiently, something increasingly rare among younger generations. Before volunteering, Helen struggled with high blood pressure and insomnia. But after a year of her weekly mentoring sessions, medical tests revealed remarkable improvements. Her blood pressure stabilized without medication, her sleep patterns returned naturally, and her stress levels dropped by 40%. When interviewed by a local media outlet, Helen said, "Helping others reminded me that life doesn't stop at 70. It just changes purpose." Scientists call this phenomenon the volunteer effect, the extraordinary impact of giving time and attention to others. The combination of light physical activity, social interaction, And a sense of purpose stimulates the brain to stay active and slows the degradation of brain cells and body tissues. Today, both Arthur in London and Helen in Oregon have become living symbols that aging is not the end of energy, but the beginning of contribution. They prove one powerful insight from the 2025 research. You don't need expensive supplements or secret diets to stay young. You just need to give your time. And perhaps the real secret to longevity isn't about searching for miracles outside, but creating meaning from within. Here's what the study found, what biological age really means, and why volunteering could lead to a longer life. The link between volunteering and biological aging. Researchers analyzed self-reported data from 2,605 Americans aged 62 and older. They examined how often participants volunteered, noted if they were working or retired, and determined their biological age using advanced tools to measure aging at a cellular level. The results showed that people who volunteered for 1 to 4 hours per week experienced slower biological aging compared to those who didn't volunteer at all. Retirees seemed to benefit the most, with a stronger association between volunteering and slower aging than current members of the workforce, even with as little as 1 hour of volunteering a week. Also, the more someone volunteered, the more pronounced the health impact became. Volunteering more than 4 hours a week was associated with the greatest reduction in biological age acceleration, regardless of one's work status. This aligns with previous research showing that volunteering can reduce mortality among older adults. A 2023 study used a similar method to look at the impact of volunteering on biological aging and also found that volunteering was associated with slower biological aging. The new study found additional differences between retired and working individuals. Still, the new research isn't without limitations. Volunteering is not an isolated act. Sajjad Zalzala, MD, longevity physician and medical director of AgelessRx. To volunteer, you have to be in good health. You have to be optimistic about your fellow man. You have to have enough free time and income, Zalzala said. The researchers attempted to compensate for all these other variables that are known to improve health, but it's really hard to do that. The link between volunteering and biological aging. Researchers analyzed self-reported data from 2,605 Americans aged 62 and older. They examined how often participants volunteered, noted if they were working or retired, and determined their biological age using advanced tools to measure aging at a cellular level. The results showed that people who volunteered for 1 to 4 hours per week experienced slower biological aging compared to those who didn't volunteer at all. Retirees seemed to benefit the most, with a stronger association between volunteering and slower aging than current members of the workforce, even with as little as 1 hour of volunteering a week. Also, the more someone volunteered, the more pronounced the health impact became. Volunteering more than 4 hours a week was associated with the greatest reduction in biological age acceleration, regardless of one's work status. This aligns with previous research showing that volunteering can reduce mortality among older adults. A 2023 study used a similar method to look at the impact of volunteering on biological aging and also found that volunteering was associated with slower biological aging. The new study found additional differences between retired and working individuals. Still, the new research isn't without limitations. Volunteering is not an isolated act. Sajjad Zalzala, MD, longevity physician and medical director of AgelessRx. To volunteer, you have to be in good health. You have to be optimistic about your fellow man. You have to have enough free time and income, Zalzala said. The researchers attempted to compensate for all these other variables that are known to improve health, but it's really hard to do that. What is biological age? Biological age is a measurement of how old your cells and tissues are and reveals how slowly or quickly you're aging compared to your chronological age, which is simply how many years you've been alive. There are a number of different tests that can determine biological age, from examining biomarkers like blood pressure and heart rate to observing physical appearance like wrinkles and gray hair. One common method for assessing biological age that was used in the new study is epigenetic tests, which examine how your behaviors and environment cause changes in the expression of your DNA. As we age, there's wear and tear on our genetic material of DNA. Gary Small, MD, Chair of Psychiatry at Hackensack University Medical Center. So you're normally looking at chronological age, but now we can measure that against so-called biological age, which looks at how the cells and tissues age, which is a predictor of mortality. For example, Zalzala said, if a 40-year-old's biological age is 60, that could be an indicator of poor health and reduced longevity. On the flip side, if someone's biological age is younger than their chronological age, that's a sign of better health and a potentially longer life expectancy. However, it's worth noting that the science of epigenetic tests may not be mature enough to put too much weight into the data just yet, Zalzala cautioned. Why volunteering could lead to healthier aging. So, why does volunteering have such a profound effect on health and longevity? Experts point to the combination of physical, social, and psychological benefits. First, volunteering often involves physical activity, like walking, which contributes to healthier aging. Social connections also play a key role. We live in a society where we tend not to be as connected as we should be, Zalzala said. Volunteering can provide that social network. This can reduce stress and improve cognitive function. We know that loners do not age well, Small added. If you're isolated, you don't have many conversations. You don't have an emotional connection with others. Those kinds of experiences help us extend life expectancy. Volunteering can also create a sense of purpose, improving mental health and buffering any loss of important roles, like spouse or parent, as we age, according to the study authors. Volunteering can give us a bit of a psychological lift and make an individual feel like they're trying to do something to make the world better, Zalzala said. Whether it's mentoring, organizing community events, or passing out meals, volunteering may just help you live longer and better. Hopefully, this will get the attention of policymakers, and we can encourage people to volunteer more, Small said. So stay with us because more golden tips and meaningful guidance are coming your way, and you are the reason this channel exists. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. Let's grow stronger, healthier, and more purposeful together.